So today, lads, we're going to be talking about a journalist, and we're going to be talking about some of the just WNBA stuff. And it is crazy. It is crazy. And again, look, I would love to talk about the basketball. I would love to talk about it, and I'm happy. I'm happy that a lot of people are enjoying the basketball videos. I'm happy that if you've not been watching, like, videos talking about the game, videos talking about the Aces losing, shout out Liberty, thank you for saving us, videos about Fever, videos about the new GM for the Fever, all getting views. But again, as always, the WNBA want to market the drama. They don't care about the basketball. And again, we saw somebody who is prominent in WNBA media come out and say, I can't stomach a New York Liberty versus Lynx final. And do you want to know why they said it? They were like, for people that are interested in basketball, this is going to be a great finals. But I like stories and spiciness. I don't like basically, this is a prominent member of WNBA media admitting they don't like basketball. I mean, they actually don't like the sport of basketball. And that's what I believe. I believe a lot of it with the WNBA media. So, when we have now just seen an interview from Sarah Spain of ESPN, who, again, I haven't read this, but like talking about, obviously the first responding is this guy here who stated that the Aces at all the teams with a bunch of Olympians have been struggling, but like the Aces had, not even the Aces, like the Liberty had 4 Olympians and a coach in the Olympics, and one of their players got injured at the Olympics in Niara, but you can say here, WNBA finals are half locked, whatever. It said in her interview, she spoke about an exchange with the Suns' DeWanna Bonner, saying, I would not call it heated. Call the person coming up and talk to me. 2 sources have confirmed that Christine Brennan filed a complaint with the league regarding the exchange. Christine Brennan comes out. This is what? Half an hour ago. This is inaccurate. It is false. I have not filed a complaint. I have not contacted anyone in the league. Your sources are wrong. You and I have had a good relationship, which is why I always enjoy speaking with you. Why didn't you call me before posting this? And the problem is I fully believe they're trying to end Christine Brennan's career. And by the way, I think she was wrong in the Dejanay-Carrington exchange. Like, I'm not gonna, like, I think you can be for the overall good, and I think you can, like, be part of the overall good, but you can make a mistake. Because now you're starting to see, like, these pages being like, sources say that she filed a complaint after DeWanna Bonner challenged her questioning of Dejanay-Carrington. And by the way, I think her questioning, I think the really reckless journalism was saying, we saw the 3 to the dome celebration. We saw you celebrating the eye poke. Like, I get the asking about, like, somebody had to ask the question about the hit in the eye. Someone had to do it. And I'm not going to say that it was intentional. I'm out here getting, like, letters, people being like, body language experts are saying this and that, and I'm like, I actually just don't care. I don't care. Once you see once you see somebody using a video on YouTube where someone says body language expert as like evidence, you know, and you're like, it is what it is. Like, just believe what you want to believe at this stage. But it's like, you're now seeing the WNBA Players Association trying to take away her credentials as a journalist based on a like 3 to the dome thing. And the problem is that it is very, very clear she is a Caitlin Clark journalist. But we've then seen in the Spurs have like hired journalists basically just to ask Wemby questions. There is a literal journalist whose job is to ask stuff about Wemby. And it's no different than when LeBron came into the league, the way journalists kind of clung on to LeBron. It's no different than Brian Windhorst, how he grew up or how he blew up from covering LeBron, whether it be high school, whether it be in college. The issue is that I believe this was reckless because everyone knew that's 3 to the dome. That's nothing to do with celebrating an eye poke. But it's gone on way, way too far. And by the way, like, I can't believe I'm defending Christine Brennan. I think she's been reckless with a lot of her questions. I think she is asking questions to get quotes for a book. I fully believe that. I think she's done a bad job as far as journalists goes, but taking away someone's credentials and making like a league where, or making a comeback where you were like, from their literal quote from the Players Association was like, we call BS, and I'm like, you can't look less professional than this. There should have been some sort of like an under the table thing where it's like, look, stop asking your questions. Like there should be like a thing where it's like the Indiana Fever, where like, well, just stop asking her questions because we know she's going to ask stuff about Caitlin Clark. Where the teams were in agreement, look, we're going to stop asking her questions. And you know what? That's fine. It is what it is. Like, at the same time, like, people are like, her job is to promote the league. No, her job is to be a journalist. Ironically, the job of the media is not to promote the league. They do promote the league, but their job is to get what gets clicks. And to be honest, I think with the WNBA players, a lot of the time with their answers, they have answered in general badly. But I will say, I do think Dejanay answered the question as well as she could. But you've now got the what is it journalist, the astrology journalist, out here saying she filed a complaint against Duana Bonner. It adds even more context to why they wanted to remove her credentials. Again, if you know about the person who I just posted on screen, she basically said that she used astrology for why Jonquel Jones is such a good player. She was like, well, Jonquel Jones was born when like I'm gonna actually quote it. I'm gonna get the quote. I'm not gonna misquote. Jonquel Jones is a Capricorn Mars, the workhorse of the zodiac. Capricorn will never give up. They'll put in the work to be best or win a championship or battle back from repeated injuries. Other notable women's basketball Capricorn Marses include Candace Parker and Paige Bakers. What are you on about? I'm sorry, this is a person complaining about Christine Brennan's credentials. Christine Brennan's done more. I get it, she's covering Clark. And I get it. You can be a little bit pissed off at that. And I also understand that the argument of, look, what did she do 20 years ago, doesn't make her basically accusing Dejanay Carrington of doing, of celebrating a hit with Marina Mabry when she was doing a 3 to the dome celebration. Like, it doesn't excuse that. But the reality of it is that she did something the WNBA didn't like. And the WNBA players, media players associations are trying to end her career. USA Today were like, no, this is too far. And like half of the journalists that were like actual like proper journalists and not the astrology journalists or them type of people that actually talk about basketball were like, no, you've tried to basically ruin someone's job for this. You've gone too far. And I admit, like, again, Christine Brennan was in the wrong for that. But everything since then, they've been in the wrong. And by the way, if Duana Bonner did not want to answer a Christine Brennan question after what she did to Carrington, she's well within her right to do that. We've seen it with the Draymond Green stuff. We've seen it with Draymond Green and the Timberwolves refusing. I think every player has the right to refuse to answer questions from any journalist. I think they have the right to do it. I think they have the right to refuse or answer whatever question they want. But the league trying to basically say, one of their longest tenured journalists, you know what, we don't like you, so let's remove your credentials? I'm sorry, it's crazy. And then making up that she filed a complaint with the league. And again, if this turns out that it's false, and I'm going to end this on a caveat. If it turns out that she did file a complaint with the league, and now she's trying to say that she didn't, just get rid of her. Like, whatever about the kind of reckless journalism, like, this is throwing everyone under the bus. If it turns out that she actually did file a complaint with the league and is now bullshitting about that, then fair enough. Go and get rid of her. Get rid of her from that. But to get rid of her based on... And the worst part is that people are complaining about her asking about the eye poke. That's what the WNBA players don't have a problem with. Not the last thing that was reckless saying, why were you laughing about it? They're not complaining about that. They're complaining about the original question. The original question is fine to ask. Someone's going to have to ask it. I'm sorry, in the NBA it will be asked. In any other sport it will be asked. Someone's going to have to answer it. Like... Heck, do you not realize how many years Ryan Shawcross was asked about the Aaron Ramsey injury? When he obviously snapped his leg, but it was completely accidental. How many times players will accidentally do things and be asked about it? That's the reality of sports, unfortunately. But obviously, I think Christine Brennan was in the wrong with the second question. But they don't even seem to care about the follow-up question. They don't seem to care about the actual problem, is that she accused her of celebrating it. Like, they're just trying to end her career because she doesn't fit into the narrative. And I'll stand by this. It's why people hate me. Because I don't know, I'm gonna talk about the game. I'm gonna talk about, and I can guarantee you, I just did it as a fun exercise for myself. Just seeing just off the top of my head, I was like, could I name every single starting five of every WNBA team? And I could. I can name every rotation player on every WNBA team off the top of my head. I've watched every single team play set at least 10 times this year. And I can guarantee you, of all WNBA fans, or of most WNBA fans, and by most, 99% of you guys that have a problem with me, 99% of the WNBA legacy media, I've watched more of this game than any of them have in the past year. So anyway, that's the video. Thank you guys for watching. Please like, comment, and subscribe.